Welcome back, everyone. Ready for another deep dive. This time, we're taking a look at the life and career of Jennifer Lawrence. We've got what seems like a pretty in-depth biography here, so we're going way beyond just the usual headlines.
Yeah, it really does seem to cover a lot. It's going to be interesting to dig into it all with you.
Totally. We're going to try to get a real sense of her journey, the whole picture.
Well, I think it's really interesting how the book starts with her childhood.
In Kentucky, right?
Yeah, just like a pretty normal upbringing, actually. Close family, loved sports.
Not exactly the stereotypical Hollywood story, is it?
Nope.
And I wonder if that's part of what makes her so relatable,
Maybe, yeah.
That down-to-earth, foundation. Seems like it really shaped her work ethic, too.
Definitely. And that genuine personality, too. It comes through, right?
Oh, totally. But, okay, gotta ask about this whole talent scout thing. 14 years old, just, discovered in New York.
I know. It's kind of a cliche, isn't it?
Totally. But obviously there's a lot more to it than just luck.
Yeah. She definitely had the talent and the drive to make the most of that chance encounter. I mean, moving to LA at 14, starting to work right away, that takes guts.
And it's not like she just disappeared after that either.
Not at all. She started booking roles pretty quickly, small parts in shows like Monk and Cold Case.
Oh, wow. I didn't even realize those were on her resume.
Yeah. Just goes to show you how much work goes into building a career like hers.
Makes you think about those early years, what was it like for her?
Must have been a whirlwind, right?
Totally. And then there's the Bill Engvall show. She won a Young Artist Award for that, didn't she?
Yep, for Best Supporting Young Actress in a TV series.
Pretty impressive. I feel like those sitcom years sometimes get overlooked. But I bet they were really important for her development as an actress.
Yeah, absolutely. Think about it. It's like a training ground for comedic timing, for working with an ensemble cast. It all builds up to what comes later.
And what came later was Winter's Bone. That was 2010, right?
Yeah, that seems to be the turning point, you know?
Definitely. I mean, talk about intense. Playing Ree Dolly, this teenager in the Ozarks dealing with, poverty, danger, family secrets.
It could have been so melodramatic in the wrong hands.
Oh, yeah.
But she was just so raw and authentic.
Yeah, she was incredible. What was it about her performance that stood out to you?
It's the emotional depth, I think. It's like she wasn't just acting, she was living Ree's life.
Right.
I mean, there are scenes where she's skinning squirrels, taking care of her mentally ill mother, and facing down drug dealers. And you believe every second of it.
It's pretty amazing to think she was only 20 years old when she got an Oscar nomination for that.
I know, right? No wonder everyone started paying attention.
Yeah, she went from that intensity in Winter's Bone to, The Hunger Games, which was a totally different kind of intensity.
Right, totally. But still a strong young woman facing impossible odds.
Exactly. Except this time, it was a global phenomenon. Everyone was talking about The Hunger Games.
It was more than just a movie, that's for sure. It sparked all these conversations about social inequality, the power of young women, all sorts of things.
And Jennifer, as Katniss, became this symbol for a whole generation. It cemented her as a strong, leading lady.
Absolutely. It's like she became the face of this huge cultural moment.
But then she did Silver Linings Playbook, which showed a completely different side of her. I mean, Tiffany Maxwell, come on, that was a revelation.
Yeah. She was fantastic. Tiffany is a complex character dealing with grief and mental health issues and just this fierce determination to put her life back together.
And she played it with such nuance.
Oh, yeah, for sure. There's this mix of humor and vulnerability and, kind of a defiant optimism that just shines through.
She won her first Oscar for that, right?
Yep. And it was well-deserved to really showcase her range.
And she just kept going.
Oh, yeah. The X-Men movies, American Hustle, even Joy.
It's like she was conquering every genre.
Totally. And she wasn't just going for the blockbusters either.
Yeah. She made some interesting choices, working with directors like David O. Russell and Darren Aronofsky.
It shows she was taking risks, challenging herself as an actress.
Exactly. And not afraid to explore darker, more challenging roles. What about Mother?
Oh, Mother. That's a film that definitely gets people talking,
It got some pretty mixed reviews, right?
Yeah.
Some loved it, some hated it.
Yeah, it's very much a film that provokes strong reactions.
What do you make of the criticism?
Well, I think it's an allegory,
Fair.
layers of symbolism and this kind of unsettling feeling that builds throughout. It's not for everyone, that's for sure.
And then she did Don't Look Up, which,
Yeah.
talk about using your platform to make a statement.
Oh, I know, right? It was a pretty bold choice to take on climate change denial in a satirical comedy.
She was great in it.
Oh, for sure. She brought this, urgency to the role, Like, she was really feeling the frustration and desperation of scientists trying to warn everyone.
It all shows that she's not just chasing fame, right? It seems like she really wants to make films that matter.
Yeah, she's got that artistic ambition. It's what keeps her work interesting.
Definitely. But okay, let's talk about the real Jennifer, the person behind all the characters.
Yeah.
She's got this reputation for being down to earth, relatable, even with all the fame and fortune.
It can't be easy to stay grounded in that world.
Especially when the tabloids are constantly following your every move. I mean, she's been linked to, half her co-stars over the years.
There have been rumors, yeah. But, according to the book, she's always denied them.
Right, and even joked about having a strict no-dating coworkers rule.
Which is kind of refreshing, honestly.
Totally. But she has been open about her marriage to Cook Maroney.
Yeah, and even about becoming a mother, it seems like she's handling it all with a good sense of humor.
I guess it makes you wonder, though, how does she find that balance between, wanting privacy and having this very public career?
It's a tough line to walk. But it seems like she's setting boundaries, Choosing what to share and what to keep private.
Which is a good lesson for anyone, really, not just celebrities.
Definitely. Knowing when to share and when to hold back is so important these days. It's pretty amazing how she just brushes it off,
Yeah, totally. It could have been this super awkward moment.
Oh, absolutely.
But she just kind of owned it.
Yep, laughed it off.
And it made her seem even more, real.
Yeah, human.
Exactly. Which I think is part of her appeal, right? She doesn't seem like this untouchable star.
No, not at all.
But let's get back to her career for a minute.
Sure.
It's really interesting to see how she's moved from those early blockbusters to these smaller, more independent films.
You're right. It is an interesting progression.
Like Causeway, for example.
Oh, yeah.
It's a really powerful film, but it's quiet.
Subtle.
Yeah, exactly.
And her performance is just, wow.
So good.
Understated, but so powerful.
Yeah. It proves she doesn't need all the explosions and special effects to captivate an audience.
Exactly. It's all about the story and the character.
And it seems like that's what she's looking for these days.
Yeah, she's mentioned in interviews that she wants to do projects that resonate with her on a personal level.
Right. It's not just about being a movie star anymore.
It's about telling stories that matter.
Which makes sense, right? I mean, she's not the newcomer anymore.
She's got an Oscar. She's been in some of the biggest films ever made.
She's earned the right to be picky.
Absolutely. And that seems to be paying off.
For sure.
She's working with amazing directors, taking on roles that really showcase her range.
Yeah, she's not afraid to take risks.
To push boundaries.
Exactly. It makes you wonder, what's next for her?
Who knows? That's part of the excitement, right?
Totally. But whatever she does, I have a feeling it'll be interesting.
I think you're right about that.
So as we kind of wrap up this deep dive into Jennifer Lawrence's life and career, what are some of the key takeaways?
Well, one thing that really stands out to me is her authenticity.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Throughout her career, she's stayed true to herself.
Both on screen and off.
Exactly. She hasn't let fame change who she is.
She's not afraid to be vulnerable, to make mistakes, to laugh at herself.
And I think that's what makes her so relatable.
People see her as a real person.
Not just a Hollywood image.
Another thing that's impressive is her dedication to her craft.
Oh, absolutely.
She's always pushing herself, taking on different kinds of roles, working with these incredible directors.
She's not content to just coast along.
No, she's always striving to grow.
To be better.
And she's earned a lot of respect for that.
Yeah, she's more than just a celebrity.
She's a serious artist.
And let's not forget her resilience.
Oh,
she's been through a lot, the media scrutiny, the pressure of fame.
The ups and downs of Hollywood.
But she's come out of it stronger.
More determined.
She's a role model,
I think so too.
Especially for young people.
Yeah, she shows them that it's possible to be successful without losing yourself.
Without compromising your values.
Exactly.
And it's not just about staying quiet and focusing on her career. She's actually using her voice.
To speak out about important issues.
Exactly. Like gender equality, mental health awareness.
It does seem like she really gets the power of her platform.
And the responsibility.
Yeah, for sure.
It'd be easy to just, stay silent.
Especially with all the pressure that comes of fame.
Right. But she's not doing that.
She's choosing to use her influence to actually make a difference.
And that's what makes her a role model.
For sure.
Not just a talented actress, but someone who really cares about making the world a better place.
Yeah, she's setting a great example. especially for young women.
Showing them that it's okay to be successful and outspoken.
And that you can use your voice to advocate for change.
Exactly. It's such an important message, especially these days.
Absolutely.
We need more people like her, you know.
People who are willing to stand up for what they believe in.
And use their platform to make a difference.
And she does it all with, like, this sense of humor.
Yeah, she doesn't take herself too seriously.
It just makes her even more relatable.
Right. It reminds us that even people who seem to have it all, they still face challenges, still make mistakes.
We're all just human.
Right.
Exactly. Nobody's perfect.
And I think that's what makes her story so inspiring.
Totally. It's a story about talent, ambition, resilience, and this real desire to make a positive impact.
And she does it all while being true to herself.
Yeah, that authenticity shines through.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into the world of Jennifer Lawrence, what's the one thing you hope our listeners take away from all of this?
That's a good question. I guess I hope they see her as this, like, multifaceted person.
Okay.
A talented actress, obviously.
Right.
But also a passionate advocate and just, you know, a real person.
Someone who's relatable.
Exactly. And I hope they're inspired by her story. Inspired to embrace their own authenticity.
Yeah. And to use their voice to make a difference in their own way.
I love that.
Me too.
Well, that about wraps up our deep dive into the incredible world of Jennifer Lawrence.
It was fun.
It was. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
And to all our listeners out there, until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep